thing and
Okay,
on the border of,
I'll check on that, but I know we sent letters. And I think, quite frankly, this past week being a bit disjointed and forced on my reporting, so I think it's I apologize. Not typically how I have it, but I'll follow up with it and try to get you all a report on what I'm sure. Anything else, any others? High School Street, you're saying the new one.
Let's go straight in them.
High School Street, I mean, it's another issue, but it's a.
the table didn't kind of set it to the side because it was domestic. But supposedly he's under
Okay,
some sort of court order in Chancery to clean up, is what I've been told.
yeah,
He has not cleaned up.
yes.
That the agent's name again?
Right, that's supposed to be Julian
I
Edge.
think I have it in the
Okay.
prior meeting,
Okay,
no,
we'll follow.
because it was kind of left as disputes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It was
The one next
tabled
to,
in, like you said. So I've got it in my
Lonnie's
notes.
fan.
I just don't have that in.
Now amendments are back, they back off in the hole there.
I'll follow up with this right and we'll be on.
Yeah, because I've got it all.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business. First item under new business is first reading of proposed ordinance for consideration of the city of Charlotte to adopt a purchasing policy. All of you have a copy of that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
so this kind of, this stems from you all proceeding with the charter amendment. Specifically under section 4.06, the simple purchasing. It was, the language of it was, I've got it here, was pretty restricting. It provided that just any expenditure or contract for more than $1,000 shall be made only after publication, advertisement, and competition by sealed bids as prescribed by ordinance, and it reads on. You all, through the charter amendment process by resolution, and we're kind of pending, by the way, before the legislature. It is now in legal. They had questions they sent to me, or a question this week on one portion of it, and I provide clarity. We were looking to delete that particular portion, and so it's going to go on to Senator Roberts and start that his process as well. So anyway, that's kind of where that stands. They gave us no timeline as to when that might be approved, but you all wanted that section of the charter amended to say that all contracts and purchases except those that may be reserved to the council by ordinance shall be made by the city purchasing agent, who shall be the mayor or an employee appointed by him, and it reads on. So the thought and recommendation by MTAS, and I recommend it as well, is to adopt a purchasing policy. And so that's what this is. It would be added to the municipal code. It'd be part of the municipal code, be a new portion of chapter 5 that would be added. The first section provides for definitions, and then it gets into who's your purchasing agent. Well, you know, it's designated as the mayor pursuant to the charter. So it's just saying that 502 reflects that. And then it gets into the general procedures. I think specifically that's the section that you all probably want to spend time with, because it talks about amounts under $5,000, amounts over $5,000, under $10,000, and procedures for if it's in excess of $10,000. As I had conversations briefly with Councilman Pastor, and these numbers, I worked with different municipalities, gathering their information and just compiling it. I'm not necessarily recommending these numbers. I would suggest that it probably be somewhere in this range because of just the general amounts with which you're dealing. So But however you want to adjust that is fine. That's up to you all, how you want to do that. It's just a general number. But the process then, especially under that third section for purchases in excess of $10,000, that references you over to section 505, which is the sealed bid process. How it would proceed and how it would be advertised, and the purchasing agent has responsibility to ensure that occurs. And then it would be brought back to the council or brought to the council once the bids come in for consideration. And then 5508 looks at the criteria. And you all have heard me say before, and it's just part of the process, it's the lowest and best. We can add best in there if you want to. It's not in there now. It's somewhat, this 505 kind of lays out and defines what best is. It doesn't say that, but it puts down criteria for you all to consider if you in fact adopt it. And then the 509 statement can award not given to the low, how that's handled, how highs are handled. And then emergency purchases, those purchases that, something goes down, it kind of gives direction to the purchasing agent, and of course it will be brought back before the board at the next regular meeting for consideration, and to obviously would have been already spent, but you all need to know about it. And so it's emergency. Gives you under 512 waiver of the competitive bid process, which is referenced in the charter. I didn't read on, but it talks about governmental entities and those types of purchases that may be had. This spells it out under 512. And goods and services exempt, lays what those are by statute, lays out those. And then under 514 talks about lease and lease purchases for more than fiscal year, beyond the fiscal year. And then if the purchasing agent needs to develop additional forms, 515 gives the purchasing agent the ability to do that. So it's detailed, it's comprehensive. I think it's more along the lines of what you all have been contemplating and thinking about. Most towns have a purchasing policy. And it's good practice. It provides for accountability. And it's like I said, the amounts in there, you all will need to decide what those are. So, Mayor, I'll turn it back over.
Neat. Discussions?
The one thing that when reading 502, the purchasing agent. My only concern there is it feels like it could be. So let me make sure that, let me just read it through one more time before I speak. I'm sorry.
Mr. Lynch, if I could tell you on it just a little bit, and,
Yes, sir.
and again, the charter provides, and I'll read it again if I'll get to that section. All contracts purchases except those that may be reserved to the council by ordinance shall be made by the city purchasing agent, who shall be the mayor or an employee appointed by the mayor. So that's in the charter, it has that language that is being amended to.
Okay, so that basically falls right in line with what I was going to say. If the mayor decided to appoint a purchasing agent that was not himself, which our charter says we can.
Yes.
The only concern I have here is once you get down into purchases by other employees or officers of the town are prohibited unless approved by the purchasing agent. You could look at a third or fourth person down the line that we're saying could make a purchase without the mayor approving it or council approving it. Does that make sense? So let's say the mayor decides, I'm gonna let whoever, they're the purchasing agent now, which is not really, I mean, that doesn't even, based off of what we have right now, that doesn't have to be said in a meeting, doesn't have to be whatever, put down on paper or anything. Based off of that, that purchasing agent, and in reality, it doesn't even say it has to be someone that's. Doesn't even say it has to be an employee, it can be an employee or an officer. So. For example, it could be the fire chief at this point, or someone that's on planning and zoning, or whatever. The way this reads, that person, if they become the purchasing agent, then they can go handpick someone else to buy something. So how do we, I guess,
I think
how do we
the
clean that
the
up?
mayor appoints, and we can, the mayor could appoint someone else to be the person.
Right,
That person then in turn can't go in and appoint someone else. It's the mayor. It's the mayor that does.
no, yeah, right, but purchases by other employees or officers of the town are prohibited unless approved by the purchasing agent.
Sure.
So if the mayor is not the purchasing agent, that person could appoint.
Well, they're not appointing anybody. They would be making.
They can let them
they
go
can make a
purchase something.
purchase.
Right,
But they are still, that purchasing agent is still responsible.
so how do we get away from that? I guess is what I'm saying. It's different too, so like, and I'm trying to be realistic too, we're a smaller town.
Sure.
So I don't think you would do this, but you may, I mean, the next person may or whatever. How do we make it to where there's a little bit more control there to where we can't get to? I don't know, that, I just don't like the idea of someone that's a board member, not one of us, but someone that's just been handpicked that has the ability to make a purchase. I just don't, I don't like that. And I may be by myself on that. I just feel like it's very layered down the road.
But the way the charter reads and is going to read, it gives the mayor that ability to designate that purchasing agent. And there's still accountability within the code by the ranges of amounts. And again, I still come back, the purchasing agent still has the responsibility. So if you say, mayor, please, explain to us, or have the purchasing agent explain to us why this purchase was made and how, what was the, what processes were used. One, you obviously look at, the policy as it's laid out to see if there are problems with it. But if there are, then ultimately it has to go to the purchasing agent, but he's still going to come back to the mayor because the mayor's done the appointment and they can do the removal. Or the mayor can do the removal as well. I don't know if I'm answering your question. And I get your point, you want control. But it's the mayor who has the ability to make that appointment. But it doesn't say that the council can't question those issues with a particular purchase or with a particular appointment. So,
What about making just the mayor having to approve all purchases? And that way it always comes up to him. So in other words, and I'm not picking on anybody, if he picks an employee and they say, well, I don't have time, I'm gonna give it to another employee, go purchase it. And then he's responsible, but the mayor never knows about it unless he's approving it. So if he's not approving it, then he doesn't know about it. Instead of saying approved by the purchasing agent, make it approved by the mayor. The mayor has to approve all purchase orders. And purchases made by any purchase agent he designates.
so maybe you're saying from the very beginning where it says purchasing agent, the mayor shall be the purchasing agent for the town and approve all purchases. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotta be the final one. His name needs to be on all the purchases, even if he designates it to.
Well, it's gonna be the purchasing agents is probably signing it, but the mayor should have knowledge of it. This is your also.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. He needs to know that they're spending it. The other issue I have is that if it's not budgeted amounts. You got $5,000 to $10,000, they can just keep buying with a couple bids. Under 5,000, they can buy whatever they want and never have to worry about if it's in the budget. So it never comes to council unless it's a sealed bid.
Depending on the amounts, between $5,000 and $10,000 is going to come because it's gonna get reported. It's just,
$5,000 to $10,000 come to the council, or
That's
just
my
need to
recollection.
be told to the council after the purchase is made,
correct.
okay, and whether or not it is budgeted or not.
These should be purchases, yes, that are within the budget.
Nothing in here, nothing in the charter that states that, right?
That specifically, no.
Okay.
No. All these are great questions that certainly, if we want to add to the language, now's the time to do it. A month ago, it's time to do it as well, but
Well, no, I know what the thing says, I mean.
right.
We're
No,
driving it via purchase policy. So the purchasing policy needs to state something about the budget. If we're gonna put parameters on dollar amounts, then when does the council have to approve it if it's not in the budget? If it's in the budget, I'm all fine and dandy, let them rock and roll, but if it's not in the budget, we only get a report every month.
Sure.
So we won't know whether we budgeted for something. They can spend $100,000 in a month and never come to us.
so you are wanting language specifically that if there are purchases that are not budgeted, which would be somewhat unusual, to some extent, but purchases that are unbudgeted
Why is that
need to be reported. Because you're generally spending within your budget. The mayor's purchases are generally made within the budget.
Unless it's an emergency,
Yeah, unless it's an emergency.
like that, so.
But I mean, but to your point, I mean, if that's what you're wanting in there, you're wanting language that purchases that are not considered within the budget or if over budget need to be reported, or what's the language you're looking for? That's what I'm.
Well, right now they're reporting it to us and letting us know whether it's budgeted or not, but it's after the fact. For the 5 to 10.
Yes,
10, if the bid has to be approved by the council, so then the first question we'll ask is it budgeted or not?
sure.
Okay, so my concern is, being as small as we are, and we budget stuff and we get into a situation where we start buying stuff, I wanna make sure that we know whether it's budgeted or not, and not just let us have a free hand of the checkbook, if that makes sense.
It does, and
It does to you, because yes, the budget, but.
so I guess that's my question. You're wanting to insert that language where in this policy? And under what setting?
I mean, I'm good with anything under 5,000. I mean, was 1,000, and now we're going to 5,000, they could just do whatever, and that we'll never know about it except when we get financials and we look at it.
So your thought is not to have 3 categories, but have 2 categories. If it's under $5,000 and it's budgeted, then the mayor could spend it, but report it that month. If it's $5,000 or more, you want it to be, your suggestion is that it be through a bid process.
Sorry.
And I'm just trying to clarify from.
I'm
Not
not
necessarily.
necessarily,
You want it to just come in front of us if it's over 5,000.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
but not necessarily bidded.
Not necessarily.
No, the bid thing is what we're getting rid of out of the
We did
charter.
1,000 to 5,000 because the cost went up.
Right, but
To
the
not slow people
But the
down
bid
in
and the-
every day.
in the charter, if anything was over 1,000, you
We
have
had
to bid.
to, yes.
Okay, and this thing, it's saying anything over 5,000 to 10,000 has to have 2 bids, not sealed, just 2 bids, 2 quotes. And then anything over 10 has to be sealed bid and approved by council.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Anything over
budgeted.
5,000.
5 to 10 category, I want to make sure it's budgeted.
You're fine with the $5,000 to $10,000 process.
Yes.
You're wanting it though to go forward before it actually happens, to come before the council.
Yes.
For you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Unless it's budgeted,
Unless it's budget.
unless it's budgeted. It's budgeted, I mean, there's no reason why we need to see everything that comes through, but if it's not budgeted, I think over 5,000, we need to know about it. And
Okay.
because we may have to modify the budget.
Can I interject something real quick? I don't want to be out one mouth here. Can't say that. That's not a bad process, even though it's budgeted, the council can see it. Because we do that all the time. So, hey, we're buying this, it's budgeted item, identifying council to spend that money. over 5,000. I have to. I can only spend $1,000 as a department head. Anything over that has to go to the city administrator. Anything over a certain limit, there's term limits every town, but what you're saying, you see, there's a line item, he needs to go buy some turnout gear, it's $7,500. You're going to see it before he buys it, you just approve it, he's like, it's budgeted.
Unless it's through.
But city manager purchasing agent.
That's right.
So all clear with my,
No, you're good.
I know.
The process is fine. You're just wanting to come before the council
If
if
it's
it's,
over.
if it's over $5,000,
And
under 10, for, really for approval still, to a certain
If
extent.
it's
You want to make sure it's in the budget.
Yeah,
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 it's
Okay.
on budget,
I'm with you.
because then you might have to start moving budget, so then we gotta talk about that as well.
So if it's in the budget, hey, I'm spending this, but it's in my budget.
You
Just
still have to have 2 quotes, and it's still required to come to us after you buy it according to this. Okay, and you need to let us know whether it was in your budget or not.
Right.
But I'm saying, I don't like that. I said, if it's in your budget, spend it, to let us know. However, if it's not budgeted, I don't want you spending without us talking.
Gotcha. We're clear. The,
Everybody agree?
I agree.
Feel that?
so that's an amendment. What I'm seeing is under 502,
Okay,
the mayor shall be a purchasing agent for the town and approve all purchases. And I'll have to think about that more, but that's what I'm hearing you say.
Well, the bottom line, the mayor's gonna be responsible, no matter
Correct.
whoever, he's gonna be
and
responsible.
you put 5502 for Chris's or for mine? Because mine was at
For
5502.
his, well, right now, if you look at it.
So then my 5503 as well.
503, yes, I'm understanding, your process, you don't have a problem with it, if it's, under the budget, or in the budget, otherwise it would need to be brought before council. It's not,
yeah, and that kind of ties into the next thing I was gonna say, because essentially, if I'm reading it correctly, so correct me if I'm wrong. The excess. So between 5 and 10, so we're just getting rid of that. So 5 and 10 is what we're saying, we're getting rid of the 5 and 10.
No, there's gonna be 3 categories, there's gonna be
Still
the
be 3,
under
okay.
5, there's gonna be 5 to 10, 5 to 10, what Mr. Pastor said. Is if it is budgeted,
Budgeted.
you don't have to bring it for approval, you just bring it by, just say, hey, here's what we've done, because it's within the budget. If it's unbudgeted, then it's brought before the council, same process, but it'd be brought before the council before it gets spent for the council to approve it.
So I'm not, okay, so let's say, okay,
And then
Got
the
it.
third category is the competitive bid.
because the thing that I wasn't really seeing before any of these changes were made, I just didn't really see where it was saying. Even when we get the bids, that it needs to be approved by council unless it's over 10,000.
That's correct.
That's at 505.
505, yeah. So anything under 10,000, we're saying the purchasing agent still needs to get, even, let's say it's budgeted. He still needs to, if it's between 5 and 10 and budgeted, he still needs to get the 2 quotes, but he's essentially going to pick who wins the bid.
In that process, yes,
Okay.
there's gonna be that process.
Okay.
And to be clear, you're saying it's unbudgeted or budgeted?
Budgeted.
Budgeted, he's gonna spend it and then say, hey, we spent $5,000 on X.
With this new one, if it is budgeted and also over 10,000, it's gonna be bid, we're still gonna vote on it.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming the emergency bypasses everything we just talked about. So if it's an emergency, then you have to go through it.
Correct.
The other thing on 505 that I would say is, especially for contracts. So on all purchasing contracts, they say to be estimated to be in excess of $10,000. Can we put there in totality or something that said, so if a contract, you're spending $2,500 a month. The full year is obviously over 10,000, but you see what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I understand, yeah.
Is that the correct wording that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, let me work, I get your point, total,
Yeah, so like if
Total
if there's a
expense.
contract for,
Yeah.
let's say $100,000 for the full year, but it's broken down into 12 payments.
but you're gonna, more than likely, you're gonna be, that's a contract's gonna come before you anyway.
More than likely, sure. We've
Well,
had contracts happen that didn't come
We can
before
put
us.
in totality, I guess.
However it needs to be
Yeah,
worded, do you understand
yeah.
what
No, I
I'm
do,
saying?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cause they're gonna do that, back in. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Okay, so the only concern I have on all this is I think it's very good and I think we definitely need it. I think the next thing, and probably Ricky, you can talk more on this, but if this becomes our purchasing policy, this is what the auditor is going to ask for, right? So they're gonna, when they audit, and it says we need to have 2 written quotes. And all this has to be documented and held, and it will be part of our fiscal audit every year.
I would say it would be. I'm not an auditor, you guys are.
I just know that they busted us for,
Yeah.
or the whole 1,000,
Sure,
and that's what even started this, right?
Yes.
So I assume they're gonna look at this and then they're gonna say, okay, well,
you've adopted.
where's
it.
those 2 bids, where's
Sure.
this, where's
Yeah,
that?
sure, yes, you gotta keep record of it. You gotta comply with it, that's, yeah, you gotta comply with it.
How does that work with grants? If we get it, like, we were awarded a grant for $64,000. I'm gonna be buying a compressor and fill station to fill our bottles, so we like to go Dixon and do it.
Yes.
How do I have to put that out for sealed bids? Or, because in the past, we just bought what we needed,
I would say you would,
sealed bids?
yeah, I would say you would, because of that, it's.
Cause they never said a word about the air tanks we bought.
But a lot of that is gonna be. Governmental contractors as well, so there may be some connections.
Right, and that's what I was wondering, because is anything before,
There may be some.
we didn't get our hands slapped on any of that, did we?
Well,
Or any of the
it's just
equipment we bought?
single source supply, all of these probably fit within those categories. Yeah. Government. What else? We hired the best.
I just want to make sure I do it right.
So process wise, we're looking to have a public hearing on this, yes, sir.
The capital assets, capital expenditures that have life expectancy of more than 1 year and the value in excess of 10,000, that's new.
Which section?
It's on the first page of 5501.
Under definition.
Definition of capital item number 6.
Okay, yes.
Right now, we capitalize anything that has a life expectancy, don't have to be in excess of 10,000. So if they add a pot to the sewer and it's 5,000, then it's capitalized. So I'm just worried that that verbiage is going to
Okay,
change if we buy 1 pot, or if we buy 20 pots and we get a deal that it's less than 10,000.
so you're thinking it needs to be or rather than the and?
I just don't like the excess of 10,000.
Yeah, because by that, you wouldn't be able to capitalize it.
No, you couldn't capitalize a computer, you couldn't capitalize a lot of stuff.
So you're gonna strike that one.
I would just like to strike the amount out of that. I mean, you can say capital asset could be like investing it more than 1 year. But the value of it. I mean, most things that are capitalized is at least 5 years,
Okay,
life expectancy.
so you wanna strike and evaluate excessively.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think there's an issue, if there is, I'll follow up with the next.
I think there's gotta be some. I know there's some capital. More so on the sewer side. There's better guidelines, I think.
I'm sure. So, sewer side.
I mean, probably Park Center $5,000 that'll last 5+ years, I'm sure.
Focus. What could be anything, could be. Printer and just go add stuff on. You know.
This would cover both the city and the sewer. Yeah.
Process wise, okay, so
No, I'm bad. That was the next step is obviously.
process wise, so this is first reading. I think the fall consideration was to maybe have a work session, maybe that's still a consideration. But at minimum, ask if you approve it on this reading, and then it'll be up for second reading in February.
Will it be with any changes?
Public hearing with the changes.
I'll make a motion to approve it with the changes we discussed.
I say.
Motion been made to approve. Purchasing ordinance, Vicky. Steve seconded.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask you to amend your motion to make it subject to the legislature within the charter? Don't want those two in conflict.
Make a motion. Well, I retract the first motion.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we approve the first sentence policy as long as it's with the changes, as long as it's not in conflict with the city charter that we've amended.
Yes. I say.
Okay. Yeah, the easy part there.
All those in favor, approval, opposed?
So we'll still want to get like and you may already have, we already have a purchasing grant form and all that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll probably have some other type of forms to kind of go along with this.
There will be a public hearing on this, right.
We're gonna do it at the next council or the special.
I would suggest the next council.
Yeah. All right, second item is consideration of approval of a proposed expanded urban growth boundary map for the city of Charlotte. It's something that we just brought forth for any discussion.
I was just wondering if we could expand the boundaries. David Freeman had talked to you about the farm being split. And he was wanting to expand the boundaries. To go all the way to State Road and to include the Bradbury Farm north of State Road.
All right. I haven't got a direct answer from Mayor Rob, but I'm pretty sure that he's agreeable with that. Because Mr. Freeman did speak with him as well before he come to me and asked me if I was okay with it. And I told him, sure, you know, it's like I said, it's not anything that we're looking to bring into the city limits, but
Probably won't be in our.
and probably, yeah, and who knows how many lifetimes it'll be,
Right.
but. Yeah, he does own property. What's now in the proposed boundaries, and so he wanted to include all of his property.
Get them split.
Yeah,
And give me the name again, I apologize, who, the name?
David Freeman. And that property would extend down 48 North to Staten Road. And then from Staten Road over to Harris Hollow Road and come back. That area I'm showing you today. But
So that would include the farmer on everything. Both sides are just on
just
Back
on,
on
just,
the
just on the right east
side of
side.
48.
Yeah, just on the east side.
So just to clear one thing up, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're probably gonna say the same thing, Jared.
I have one person today tell me that they were wanting to get in to the city limits, but they were not up next to the city limits. So just to reiterate what you had said, we're not going to hop over properties. And I mean, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, or we won't do that. We try not
You can't do
to.
that,
Okay.
you can't do that.
Okay.
Because you're not gonna live far. You're gonna
Yeah.
create a hole that's there, you know.
And no man.
Right.
Perfect. That's
My question now is, you got this map that was approved by the county, I believe. It wasn't approved by county.
Nothing's been approved.
No,
So what has happened is the mayors have kind of gotten together and had input generally about this. It's been kind of proposed by whatever entity that was, I can't remember what the folks are. Of what kind of makes sense based on what they see, and they've studied, and looked at it, that's kind of their realm. And they've made proposals, and now it's just the city's portion is being presented to them. And it's open for you all to look at it and say, okay, we want to expand,
Okay,
and here's why, we've got some.
so we can't approve the second reading then, because we're waiting for.
So this is just a resolution to say, here's what we've tentatively approved, and it can even be changed additionally going in front of the committee. It can be changed even further.
Okay.
I would say the creek was in there too, being that they're on the city sewer.
I mean, we can get into negotiation with,
that's what I was gonna ask. If we wanted to do that, I guess White Bluff would have to agree to do that, right? They'd have to agree to give up.
yeah,
They would. I think you got
And they have it
communities that
now.
are vying for it. Right now, it's in theirs.
that's in their proposal.
It's in
They
their
don't
proposal.
have it now.
Okay.
They don't have it right, correct. It's just in their proposal.
So it's just in their proposal, but that's not already,
It's not approved.
it's not, okay.
It's not approved. So if you all want to have a conversation about that, you can, I think it's a matter of reaching out to their mayor and having that conversation.
I know they had a come apart when Creek was being planned, because they wanted it over there.
How does that work? You just go speak with their mayor and y'all just kind of fight over it or what?
There'll be there's no reason to fight on it, but, yeah, we'll just, I mean, I may get, her reasoning as to why.
Well, that's the thing, like, you're never gonna, I mean, I don't see a scenario where White Bluff city limits would extend into Charlotte. So that's what I don't know.
Well, that's the same, that's the way I look at it too, because I know people that live on both sides of Jones. I've got family that lives close to the city limits of Charlotte here, on Highway 47. And they don't want in the city limits.
Right.
So that, that puts a stop going any further that direction.
Sure.
And they're saying in White Bluff, on that side of, I know a couple of families that live over there and said, no, we don't want in the city.
No.
So that would prevent either city from actually being able to annex it if everybody, or not everybody, but the majority of people wanted. But I think it was just something that, like I said, it's for future, long time future. And, I mean, I'll be willing to talk and see what her reasonings were, were to come.
Where does, I don't even know where White Bluff cuts off of it. Ask Dawson Road. Even further.
Our cut off is Jones Creek from first.
Jones Creek, yeah.
We cut off at Jones Creek.
It's always been Jones Creek, the White Bluff ordinance.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say it was now is the time to consider it if you're going to do it because of. Once it does get approved, it's somewhat locked in.
We'll say it one more time.
Right, sure, you'll see it one more time, and again, when I say, I'm talking about the whole process. It isn't like it's gonna be. Every year gonna be reopened, it might be reopened in a decade, it might be.
So. Just so I understand, so let's say if we extended, let's say, past Mount Lebanon. Over there, okay, but they're still gonna be controlled, all their planning and zoning is gonna be county related.
Correct, right, until it gets annexed.
We have no say so over anything that still happens
Yeah, all
on
it
the
is-
property, we have no control over it.
Correct, it's just planning, this is a complete planning tool, that's all it is. Until and unless someone says, okay, here are these lines of properties that are all wanting to be annexed. And it's really why. So this resolution is before you tonight for consideration. But you have two revisions that you're going to consider.
No.
So it might behoove you to defer it until the February meeting and kind of approach it that way, and that can just give opportunity to get. I can work with the mayor to coordinate, okay, getting this entity to plug in those two different areas for us and come back with a different looking map than what we have now, if in fact that's the deal.
You need a motion to defer?
I think that would be best.
Yeah,
You wanna say the mouth?
No, I'm not gonna say them. But I'm asking another question. If we do that and we expand, do we have to have two readings again?
No,
Okay.
It's just a resolution.
just a resolution, okay, just a resolution.
And there's no city pass. Come with Furnace anyway, I mean, they're not incorporated, so there's nothing, that's, I guess it's basically this body's decision to expand it that way,
Correct.
there's no argument.
That's for. It's really citywide.
I think Creekwood, they're not gonna give it up.
probably not.
I'd say that'd be a code.
Tell them put it on their sewer, yeah.
Before they would.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it
It
is,
ain't gonna be put in there in a long time.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, another high school. Dixon County.
I'll make a motion to defer the resolution to our February meeting pending. Mayor's discussion with city water.
Second.
motion's been made, all those in favor, are there any other discussion? All those in favor? To defer? Opposed? That's the case. That meeting, 24th.
We include the
Yeah.
Freeman discussion with that as well.
Yes,
I mean, that's okay.
sure.
We deferred it, so it's-
Maybe just like Montgomery County, we just have one city in the whole thing.
So I guess to address Mr. Locher, I think that's something we can go ahead and at least get the map amended. And get that changed, that process. That's the will of this body, so we're.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a scenario where White Blood says no.
No, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Mr. Freeman.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, what William talks about.
The chief's point is not really the opposition.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the third is third item, to acknowledge the interlocal agreement for automatic response of fire rescue resolution.
I have rewritten our auto aid agreement with Claylick because right now Claylick has us running everything except medical calls with them. To backing it down to structure fire, wrecks with extrication, and then if they don't have anybody around type thing. So that'll cut out a little bit, it won't cut out a whole lot because most of our guys use some common sense and call them and say, hey, do you need this or not? I've also written an auto aid agreement with EMA, being as they have a station over in Sylvia at the airport. And we've never really gone before council, but Kurt reviewed the contracts and just wanted to bring it up.
That's gonna be best you all acknowledge it. Make you aware of it. It's a positive, obviously.
The resolution.
Really, it's not a resolution, it's just an agreement,
Just a,
not this word.
just an acknowledgement of the.
Yeah.
Agreement. You all can make that.
And that goes both ways. That's them going, them coming to us going to them, helping out.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion to approve the automatic response agreement, fire department, been made and seconded, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I guess, we just need to sign one of these.
Yes.
Agreements.
Sign it, one for, they one for Clay Lake, then I'll get
Yeah.
their bodies to sign it.
Mayor Hayes just from the chief, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It may be, I can't remember if mayor's on there or not.
Well, the city and or county attorneys is on that as well.
And that was basically the same one we've been using with the squad and everybody else for years. It just got reworked.
All right, move on to committee reports. The first item, city attorney.
So I will, again, I'll follow up on those, enforcement property. Mr. Mayor, I know, it might be time to put it down. There's a planning commission issue that needed to be brought up with the council. It's, a rezoning. And so I think the consideration is that do you want to have this, I think we're the body, but mayor, I suppose, maybe have a work session on some of these issues.
Yeah.
Maybe find out where we are, I guess, on UGB, that type scenario. If we're gonna do that, I would recommend bringing this particular issue, because it was a rezoning. Set it special, have a special fall meeting. And then proceed to take that issue up, and then it would be on the regular meeting for February as well. It was just an item that the planning commission had recommended back in November. This meeting did not make the agenda, so we just advertise it and be on the special fall meeting. There had been a discussion about February the 18th.
Yeah,
I won't be sure.
but I knew Steve wouldn't be here, but he won't.
To the 20th.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just a rezoning. But, you know, on the 18th, which is a Wednesday at 5:30. Which that's about the only time that kind of, you know, with the exception of Stevie, but the only time everybody could agree upon, I think, or at least be available.
Wednesday, and that's a Wednesday.
Yes.
So the goal is to have a
Work session.
Work session.
And special meeting.
special meeting.
Because we will have to vote on this rezoning issue
Yes, sir.
twice
That's correct. We're gonna have a public here, public.
and a public hearing, and we wanna,
On the,
When
so,
the February meeting.
yeah, correct, on the 24th.
Yes.
So you would take it up on the 18th, and then it will be, obviously, notice will be providing a public hearing. And so second meeting for the 24th.
They said it's not there.
Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Rest. Y'all heard of this, as Mr. Smith said, y'all heard enough and enough.
all right, and next, finance.
Two questions on finance. I gave that, well, one comment, two questions. I gave y'all financials. I think at some point, it's gonna have to be a work session pretty soon about redoing the budget, because in local government, it's more detailed than it was in Sage. So the budget's in one bucket, and now in local government might be in three. For instance, professional fees. Everything went in professional services before. Now we got professional service, legal, auditor, data processing. So all the sections are separated. And so we need to figure out, and when I budgeted that way, that it all rolled up into one is what we gave to the state. Now we got local government and they recommended that we break it up because that's the way the charter of council is in local government. So we're gonna have to put the budget, current budget that we have, not change it as far as dollar amounts unless we need to, but put it into the right buckets as far as the. So that would be something that I would probably have to do most of, but it still would have to come in front of you guys. It would have to have some conversation if we need to modify some numbers. Modify some numbers. And then it would eventually have to be, I guess, approved by you guys and sent to the state. So I think it'd be, so some of these look kind of weird if you look, and a lot of it because of corrections of prior year numbers, like if you just look at the general fund. If you look at wholesale beer tax and liquor tax, you can see one's under by 17 and the other one's over by 15. It's because the way it was coded last year wasn't really where it's supposed to go. And so we took the balances from last year and just put the budget based off those balances. And now what we're finding out is things were not in the correct GL account. So there's going to be a few of those that we're going to be moving budget for. So you got questions, I'd say feel free to contact me and I can answer any questions you got in the two financial statements. But if you look at it from a wastewater standpoint, we're almost dead even on a budget as far as actual versus prorated budget. We're $369 off on the bottom than what we budgeted. Now, we don't have any month, I don't believe, in here with the new increases in the sewer rates. So it should start to make a little bit more, if you would. We still got 25,000 in the bottom line, but actually the budget's only $300 difference. So we did a pretty good job in budgeting. But general all over the board, because we haven't done a lot of the big projects, the Todd Street and all that kind of stuff. But this is through December, they didn't finish that. We're paving the streets, all that stuff. So it makes it look like we're doing really good, but we haven't spent the big numbers yet. So you almost got to look at that by line. So once I get it to where we can redo this and put each line item where it needs to be and what I think the budget needs to be, it'll be a little bit more self-explanatory because it's more detailed. So if you're out in something, you might be able to figure out why you're out in something. If it's legal, if it's the auditor, if it's whatever. Trash, that kind of stuff, you know. Anyway, the one thing I had was a quick look. We did a resolution. I think you had to go do that. We canceled that. If we had any luck with canceling that. I found my Intuit account. So I could probably get in there and modify something and make it work, but you got the resolution, so I don't mind using my account if you want to be the one authorized to do it. The other one is the shredded bill. I saw it today, it was still in there,
Still
twice.
no response from them either.
Okay. All right, that's all I had on finance. I was just asking those two questions, because it was big dollars.
We heard from the auditor on any.
Have not heard, as far as I know, I gave them everything I can give them. There were questions about policies. There was questions about the water department agreement. And there was other questions, I guess, just on general changes that were made from the last time they did an audit. And as far as any works, papers and that kind of stuff where they came in there and looked at stuff, I don't think I owe them anything. If I do, they haven't contacted me on it. So they don't, they know my email, but they still send it to the city of Charlotte. So, and I'm okay with that, but I haven't gotten anything that says they're waiting on me for anything. So we might need to reach out to them and.
Well, once I can get in and
Yeah.
look through all the.
Well, you need to reach out and some where are we, you know, because we are past the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen by the end of the year. So.
But the last I got was thanks, so we'll let you know if we need anything else somehow.
Okay.
I'm not aware of anything.
So, that's it on my side.
Wastewater, anything else on the wastewater? Streets and bridges, I'm gonna bring this up. I know that there's gonna be potholes to repair. We've also got some street connections that need addressed. One of them is between the new Justice Center and Laredo's. A pretty deep hole has developed where you turn off there and a car went into it and actually got stuck. I think there's another one up there, Detour,
Dotson Street.
Dodson Street, same issue we're having up there, so. When this weather breaks, even if I have to get out there with my truck. And, you know, I'm gonna start working on those streets. I haven't talked to Eddie Grove lately. Have you seen him or talked to him?
Every day.
Well,
I don't even bring him up.
I just, has he said anything about?
He has.
Okay, well, the reason
I told him to do the same thing Tracy does. If
okay,
he wants to do it, I'm not doing it for him.
okay.
So I left it up to him.
So Tracy Freeman, which lives up on Old Columbia Road in Celeste Heights, she reached out because with all the traffic issues we're having on 47 and 48, people are cutting through there to bypass the three-way stop, and they're moving on pretty good. And so her and several of her neighbors have requested that the city install speed bumps through there. And we've got the okay from them that, I'm not a fan of speed bumps myself, but
No, she stopped me at Walmart and I told her to come talk to you.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, just get up a petition. I
yeah,
said, that frees us up from everybody on that road.
yeah.
And I mean, that's what I told Eddie.
So that's something that I'd like for you guys to be thinking about. For possible approval at our next meeting.
Yeah, we got bids.
No, we haven't got it. Chad and I have looked online at different ones for different prices. I mean, we can reach out and get bids to see how many places do we need to install them? So
That straight stretch would probably be like in front of her house.
Yeah.
Would probably be where,
yeah.
because they're gonna have to slow down going around the curve and once they pass Phillips.
Yeah, I figured between her and I guess be
Where
across,
Torley's used to live.
but across from Don Evans' house.
What is it, through there, 20? Speed limit through there, 20? 15?
No, it's at least 20.
I don't know.
And it may be,
through there.
no, I don't believe it's
I
30.
don't know.
That'd be posted.
They're bypassing the 48, 47 intersection.
Yeah.
They shoot down Dotson down here at 9:00 in the mornings.
No,
Avoid
not
the freeway.
freeway, but CB.
Well, yeah, I said the
Yeah.
freeway.
They're gonna take her over.
You can take.
Yes.
Bypass.
Yeah,
And I were two pretty decent wrecks, nobody was hurt.
yeah. So that,
Dotson, where they cut through and just wide open.
that's two roads that, which I know that the sheriff and the county have been sitting down there at the old St. Paul Church. But
Well, I told Eddie if he got it from the 48 to the church, we would look at it.
yeah, so I mean, that's,
Everybody would live down through there. That way somebody ain't coming in there bragging about it, taking them out.
yeah. All right,
Did they turn in a petition?
Tracy did.
Tracy Freeman, she brought,
I didn't tell
that's who
her.
came in,
Okay.
but
How many
now,
did sign?
how many?
I don't know, I
10 or
didn't.
12.
Okay.
No,
And I don't think there's more than 9 houses from the curve to the 40,
No.
47.
there's only one request in there that he asked that it not be right in front of his house. So, but
Cause if you do them wrong, they're gonna drive around off in the yards and stuff to get around.
Well. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna respond to that one. But anyway, that's something Chad and I will reach out and get a cost. Of these speed bumps, and then hopefully we can vote and make a decision at the February council meeting. Next thing is street lights and signs. I don't think he's ever got our lights fixed around the courthouse there.
I don't think any of them are actually working. One's out the bank yard.
Yeah, well, the ones out front here, it's working. But anyway. Anyone have any? Issues there?
There's a sign going back, but also talking about signs. There's a sign on that road on Old Columbia that says no three-way traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
So I
so.
mean, how are you can't enforce that,
Well,
or can you?
I mean, it's a public, it's a city road. I mean, anybody can go through it.
I mean,
I mean, they tell you no through traffic, but
But I
they
mean,
can't.
did the city,
that
is that
doesn't mean-
a city sign, or did a neighbor just go out there and put it on?
I'm sure it's a city sign.
That's a city sign. It was put up when they had issues with people bypassing the traffic.
Yeah.
It ain't the traffic, it's the speeding.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay, the next thing, public safety.
I got that, like y'all know, state awarded us that grant. I got the letter the 27th. So we're gonna be buying a compressor and the fill stations. We don't have to go Dixon and fill bottles. We will have to get an electrician to wire in the box and everything, but I have to get the details, what take bids on that when it comes about. I've already gotten prices anywhere from 55,000 to 67,000 on what this compressor is gonna cost. We were awarded 64.5. So any money we have left over, I've got to find out if we can go towards getting it wired. I think it can, but I'll get the details on that from the state when the contract will be in Friday. I'll get Garland to sign it and get it sent back off, and then we should get the money. So I think that's about all I got. Oh, radio cases. I was gonna buy some radio cases for those new $7,000 radios we got. They're more padded. They're on a sling, so you can't say they lost them because they're hanging on them. It was gonna be a little over $1,200, but we made it break it down and buy some now and then some later, because they're talking by March we could be on this new system.
Okay. Next, public parks and recreation. Nothing really to report. Except our first phase of the little trail down here has been completed. We were in the process, Chad and I were in the process of reaching out and trying to get someone to look up for any other grants that might be available, and I think we missed the deadline on it, so we'll be reaching out to see in the future if there anything that can, there are grants out there, but you know that, it's just getting them in on time and meeting all of their specs that they require for us to apply. Planning and zoning.
We already discussed it.
Yeah, we've already got one. We've already talked about one that we will discuss at the work session. And then,
There's also a code, the ICC codes that need, and I was gonna give you this because I got 2 copies of it. That's that resolution thing or ordinance I was talking about that I got in 2 different meetings. So I don't know who generated it, but this is something that we'll have to approve. The council will have to approve, so I'd like to go through that when we have the work session, but I'd like you to review it to make sure everything's good. Send it back and we can send it out to everybody and say, this is what we're gonna discuss. It also includes fee schedules, which I think we need to have a work session for.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's,
It's complicated and I'm sure he'll have to be here for that work session.
can you be here then for that?
Should be, you said 18th?
Uh-huh.
18.
Yeah, because those are two things that I know that.
He's definitely glad I'm gonna be in Honduras.
And right go, you just feel like for me to sign up and go.
Yeah, 'cause we were originally gonna have you present for it for tonight, but then we had the public hearing go into that and all the change.
Okay, you. Construction. I guess we just need to check on our Todd Street.
Has he completed that?
I don't think so.
No.
Uh,
Well, obviously.
He's close.
Had weather. So
yeah, he was close, but. I'm kind of anxious and concerned, but anyway, about how well it's gonna work, how well it's gonna drain, but anyway.
we should know today.
Either that or.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe not tomorrow, the next day, but by Friday, I think it's supposed to get up in the 50s, so a lot of that melt and run off. Ambulance service,
They're working on, I know they got approved, their plans from the state fire marshals, they got approved for the new building. And water department was down there doing their thing to get them where they can have a sprinkler system in it. That's just as far as I know.
okay. Planning and zoning, so you decided to have planning and zoning Thursday?
Oh, no, that was already in there.
Okay, so
Those were already done.
there's no planning and zoning for Thursday. No.
Yeah, so that was canceled today.
Work session, special call meeting, for February 18th at 5:30. And then the regular wastewater and council meetings will normally be on February 24th at 5:30 as well. I don't have anything else.
Just better just sit down with these, follow up special call meeting for February 18th to 5:30 on that rezone.
Yes, yes,
I know what's that.
Yes.
yes.
And I need to have that posted, did you say, like, it needs to be posted, right?
Advertise.
It needs advertised.
Yeah, Paul,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not real sure how, no, which you actually gonna advertise.
Yeah.
it's not that really specific, we have to only take up that issue in a special call.
Yeah,
See, I can call you tomorrow and give you a wording, how that goes in.
Okay.
Sherry's done it, it's real easy.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
all right, that's the next thing he's gonna ask. Motion to-
We can go right back to the paper down here, but
Steve,
He
second,
normally makes that.
suppose.